government say President Mahama to 16 regions no enti ya sheda all the regions no ya be sheda atoche different bi e de amano no akotinem de ya hyehyɛ na esi wono na o so say omukọ han yo say so regional office wo chese egu hono no de obi a tena so no enu abi e na wo akotena so bi when your friend say leadership when your friend say or Ghana fo e ho adwendwen eda na koma so enye de ono ba ye say President Mahama mpacho wudura hemfo no so aya amom nsori nyina ho why Mahama is a God sent nanama we ye Muhammad Bashir Suleiman ene de baye we ye nyame ama enye president ya wo bekoi na ahemfo Volta region ahemfo akese ni nkuma ate hono mo a ne ye boy national anthem a ogina platform so a na ototo ne nsa ewo wiem edi gu ahemfo so instruct regional minister say kan kwa ka kira wahene no to so sorry enye bia enye sa president ni bi ene yenya no 2025 Ebusia for the Ebekoso afen waduru honom ti the Ebekoso obi de bebro na me ncha ho me kwa Ghana Revenue Authority enura na mi frase say appointment nura no say de na me ka no appointment no say first word the kind by Professor Sharif Muhammad Caleb and I almost say na ne no it was not signed by Secretary to the President Dr. Callistus media paid information na me gada ye no and na the sign ye Anthony Sapon na manugu so ameka say no and when this ifo no kogu ho no no enen so makwa kogu ho enen so wa makwa kogu ho no mo a Ghana Revenue Authority ho no mo a enu so wo mugu ho ene wa masa akọ ya omu ewo ho no mo but abia me pese me kan say eya adwobrel
you wanna you speak to I can speak to you speak to I can speak to
no kra no wo ba adwuma no wo hu dom abodom pem ho no kra wansi enti mu amadwon ne Facebook no mu be hu de course e na no pay e wo Ghana Revenue Authority premises wo chese wo ba adwuma o wo kwadru ho no na kire se NDC for storm ho se o ye be ma calm down We are bema. So say who could our appointment letter? Calm down. The police phone a go on mono and the NDC supporters and so I storm me ho. So a woman needs see from Enco office ho. Wow. Papa penny for the mo and penny for wom and now one more board on pim ho and then so I'm a sack ho. Wow. Yeah, Rassi Abekoni and your reporter Bekasa. And to say a man no crown when see from. Watch your videos now. Ne can't you run Munuana or who Domuana say or Sansa and a chia. Okay, I was for me Kwana Mine, a craft from your new senator or what says, I am question here. A cost one who says, see, na hello, boss, you good afternoon. Yo, says, see, I ain't protein, I would not and Elcoso.
Oh, yeah, like I said, my free gear and it's a bet, and say Diana police for any a year or more demonstration, you know, ever Casai. Now, the I for Naka in answer, okay, how much I say. Now, my Monday, how much say, I'm Penny Mahama before Monday, so I want to draw upon appointment in the year. They made my Monday, how much they come and storm there, and they be so and your country. Almost I shoot up question and my police want to say, almost coffee because I found out to the car. Now, they made my Monday, so by Monday, that's my mama, and the draw appointment in the year, and the Ombadia, don't be and the ever saying, Bibia Ghana.
Now, almost almost how they say, and now your brew be suha, but only be doing common almost almost how one can say.
You are my almost how you say, almost the NDC, a party, a bread as an over power. Now, almost say, Omega campaign, so no, almost a NDC for a dinner or a campaign at the Boa party. No, now, a more PC, a year Mr. Sapon, over Commissioner General of GRA, no, almost in the Canada. Now, I was answering upon not our KPMG. Now, or your Jumama MPP are buying almost so many pass or MPP. And see, oh, how to say, no. The only that man of my MPP media say, oh, and if you want ever pay more GRA, one of the farm, one anymore, and a one and new Juma or maybe other party. And somebody almost say, Mama, and a point will be our party me. Said by ya, almost so, some of the Juma, Amamumba, and a Munyano more, almost with my day. Now I'm because I'm my Juma, I'm my party. Nothing, Papa will know what they are. Almost me and Juma, and almost me and because only one, and I'm also in Nimuno. And the Opa Mama show, all the appointments, you know, because of finding this to me, I'm having an answer, when you this to me, you know, Mama, and you feel.
Okay, and he says, and I know Gusu, I can say, no more free one as on that so.
I say, I'm looking at the only now, I'm at it, call back to maybe I'm free by. Now, I see my Omakaja on the say. Na me adwa Monday ahomase sende e Friday aye kase so man ti hwende otuna Sunday si papa no yare draw na Monday ahomase omba ba exercise ho ai no be bio e dia office ho e so mo so mo ko na Monday no so man ti hwede Monday o ma san ba bi asan ba ye kire ho.
Okay ene my emfa winsi na said ye bibi fufuro bi ene ho de ana bibi wo ho biem
ama say dem say bibi ene ho bi.
Okay na kire se o ma free ho Mr. Sapon went to me and see from. Ebeyiri Robert Azu was a Monday. NCA go sweet rough. Power Stone was it to my president JM. Citizens didn't vote for father for all, please. But asamno ne kaya kanao. Asamno ne kano ede pa ne kano eye kana. Oh dear. To say NCA DSA fiankoi de ya wonu na lead police for custom radio gold ko to me ya say enra NDC for any abre say ne de besi president pa appointment o manimra out ya that sorry ya appointment no aba out no NDC for mu leadership mu jiwo mu di me to question we di amamo especially mu ama join me on Facebook. Muankasa no mu leader President John Mahama mu tisi ya mu ye adwuma man no mu wogidie ewo ni mu. And I keep on saying say this time around you know appointment na wo eye no before appointment no kwa be start no omo ma yeti ase say enye say bia President Mahama ni chief of staff ene hye dem ena enkwa no mu twetwe list de ba say na Akufo Addo ye bi no a kan oforiata me cousin minua o ma ye finance minister Asante bedi etuo omra me ye secretary to me office of the president wa ya busuafo che ya ma na yire ma wono o ma wo wade da nyina o mema wo mu bie no appointment ya President Mahama eye no was yet in consultation with the party leadership. Party leadership. Oh, party leadership. And you want one castle to me, dear say 1992 constitution and mammy powers be. And you know, I can hire and fire. Time me pay bianti no bia me pay biana me who say some of these things you know I was set mama adwobre eba so yes remo mo media de me kan say mama adwobre emra obia kuni ho de was say mu ye bia ma ye but didi amu ankasa mu nya ye wo President Mahama mu 8 years in opposition ya mo de na ba power no sa obuo ni ani die yes safata ne sa gidie na monya e wo mo party leadership mu no mesremu munya yes remu sa obuo ni die eni gidie munya ye e wo mo party leadership mu a e dia bedu sa bre no yenim se abufuo wom because wo hwe video bi and then any appointment ni bi ho no mo a ba bi o ma ye adwuma under president former president Akufo Addo dia obubefu. Okay, Jude Oseibonsu nana ma nobody voted for any party leader. Yes, but President Mahama na monya gidie woni mu na mo hwa no because sir na asset on asset tension bi enu kwa se ba adwuma wo ho adwuma ne so adwuma wo ho se kwa basa na asset tension bi enu kwa se ba na frase e ba ebia enye enipa nyina na campaign wo behu wo mu but ebia wonnim obi so adwuma so kese nku bia enipa ne eye ede boa ya e ma party ni ba power party ni power na e ba ye no eye niema bebre na akom eniema bebre ne komuo enenye wo bia na tisi abonte a wo hu ne say all the 16 region okoto oye campaign enye wo bia na abehu ne saa but ebinum so hyeda mu a ehye officer bia information eni adwuma na wo mo ye no wo de na adwuma kura to ho adwuma wo I quite remember Dr. Mary Arisi eba ha yi ana ne yedi wani adana se bobie na net ya na me wo ha bi about electoral commission yo mukoye bibia na apie omukoye bibia na apie ono na nuto no ka me NDC fake o se neck o me se me nka obi ono na tie na oka ye o say they have some people within electoral commission ya omo nso no de akoso bi anya bia no omo ma wo mo emu feed wo mo with information aya na ma me kae aya ifia ya no kae se electoral commission na esi wono mo no adwuma yefo na ewom no jemensa na nkasa nkrof because jemensa na nkasa ni got to a point de na esi ni kwa no kwa na bunka na won tie ase se na ye betena hanu no ye plan bibia ye free akwa ya na de na pie it who is giving out those information to the public and also to our opponent. There are some people in there omo electoral commission hanu mo a omo sukuta positions a wodi wadwuma to hanu mo a na rescue mission no omo ka ho bio. But you will never know. You will never know. Obi so adwuma na wo ye wankwa campaign. Nipa no ankwa campaign. But unnim adwuma na nipa no wo ye e de boa. Enti media gidi amanya wo mo party leadership mu no. Ye besre mu nyina se mon calm me down. Yesre mu. And then and go for your production and now please can you interview chairman let's see do get here for us. Most of the production ba yate. So na mo de munya gidi omo ye acting yen hwe de beko because yen say tension mu buafu madwa pa tension e wo krom because of one or two appointment ni gusu no na eba no ye hu say na mani age mo hwe the real president Mahama enkwankwa ye say obi ye president o the late president Miss Abreso President Wallace Wojibi, President Mills Wojibi, or no Abreso Wojibi, no Sasa de Mawam this time around never be brass. But these two appointments, NCA, Ghana Revenue Authority, them who say just no shoot to my job mubuofu. But they can say a Jumane soon. Yenim say mubuofu, but a Jumane soon. And to the Montias no, and you will be on a call grounds to quiet campaign. But a bit more chira almost a year, Juma. Edibua 2024, Quayamo Faso Murini. Ye will be quiet, ye. A Juma, ye, no. Obi Krato assistant regency couldn't re. Because, yes. Obi to assistant regency couldn't re. Meboa Moncan James and Meboa. Kwabena Juma 8 years in opposition. What I say ya wa ye no. See a book Kwabena din se Kwabena ye hwan ya and sin no. But Kwabena se one pa appointment. Wakaso one pa appointment. Enti bebre so na nehye MPP fo ni mu a de ya wose moti ase no no. Bebre na nehye MPP fo ni mu a omu kutakuta appointment ya. Omu ye adwuma de boa NDC. But unim and a juma no so anu omo ye no na enye juma e was a bad public domain e me ye ka say wan e hye ha the information power dey maye and wan hye ha and information power dey maye electoral commission won mu gu ho ne abodi o be say di prakro ne ye koku no secretly no more information NCA boss yi boni a woni jemen said die na nya boni ketwa boni pa woni jemen said die dia wa reason ya wokoi so you think say enu obi na wo hono mo a no wa ma NDC information a ka be ko ne sei ene wa wie ne sei enti no munya gidide na mwanya mo party mpanimfo mu ne yesremo munya na menko we say so free senior high school Honorable John said educate ya ko kan asem we say e ma mo de MPP for the propaganda etia no okoto ene okoka ye say free senior high school no a eda ho no mo no a yakoto aduane wo northern region ne de ababa fast stock yakoto aduane e wo bunu mantam a ne de ababa fast stock western region ne de ababa fast stock no omo ba betwam headmasters nanka said they will make sure so on be decentralize that process no that policy no because that nyina e secondary school nyina sa na net ye school bia won beza headmaster matron for no amaka bomu omuka bomu a na enkora no ennuane no amato mu di fidi wo mu won tese mugu ho a spy tentumantos gu a spy sadi gu ho no ma spy na wunti bi but under Nana Akufo-Addo radio obi contract kese okoto buro no akoto bayire no akoto bode no akoto beans no akoto nwo ne yasum dia begu ba fast stock na bi mu akromfo no omu wia no omu wia tondi no omu wia tondi na kom dia school fo no enra Ghana Education Service Minister of Education Honorable Eno Idrusu directive aba Omudi aba directives aba fast kra hwe enti na meka cha me se munya abotire no munya abotre ye yeta munyina amachi munya abotre why munya abotre aha enti sese no Ghana Education Service and release omudi buy ni approval to produce essential food items at the school level. You can't remember a common sense. I remember a common sense. Amemo ye common sense. Amemo ye common sense. Oh, enya buga gidi bia buga wo ka wo bi nka bi tintri. Abuja for yanko parliament esia yenya ne ntia se bibi because of parliament nti yen peke ne fast na yen to asom fenfro nana bota eye parliamentary oh bofa f okay nana bofa okay nana good afternoon
boss
dia na ekoso pa yeti noise bi dia na ekoso parliament esia
right yema papa ba mama studio with the metro kasa de na no de na mene efo kasa na ni na say what to the day I also every edom kuma side minority caucus no ana omodi futures kase ejinam elma so de fi and your mobile so much and say o much of the people so na enjoying na say honorable Osahene Afenyo Markin or MP for minority leader.
Honorable DA.
And the Osahene Kwabena Afenyo Markin.
What was Osahene? You to us mammy. Okay. Okay.
And you know, already issue headed to speaker and that time now right honorable speaker about Babe no sorry good nechi eja and Amakwesiama, second deputy speaker, and a Betnasi, and a Betnasi for our Jada and Chena. On our boyfriend, marking any issue, say, oh, here Ablakwa and somewhere Kosuna, one former majority leader, Casey out of force in the home combo, her son committee me a day into Seattle, Kwabena, for Suno, Ablakwa. A teenage presentation was say, Osha process na aqua could be say, I was say easy, you know, or my quality to be an man so. Nanso so no, a NDC for Monocuno and one Asoma or Momobuni, the Canberra for tax or more Metroman for. Say one alcohol, no more call you the day, no more cost say near my no more near my names and say they are one more ain't me. And declare seat no and farmer the you know the say a munipana MPP no a year mammy crazy or no and wedding couldn't a room. And you know a Jumana dear a bamboo Juma sem na Omuna Transfer who IGP and committee me. I say IGP so and I say was say IGP already called a bamboo in the problem. The night also no acquires a dish amount of kuno. And a whole pine. And then no, Omode to any said, yes, say Biano. I was so more na Ablakwa seat no, what would you declare? Na my nurse so much in about account. No, what would you say? I pray for you, no, every name NDC. I'm going to call Nakwa, see a pint in Tinchi. Then on our Casana, Gradano incident, the members know, leadership on 4 months. I only didn't number, and then they didn't get so many, no dear. One topa no more no party national anthem, MPP national anthem, the lady elephant, you know, and the symbol we shall win to save Ghana. No movie and not she rado. Omuri and I say national anthem, no so no at was only the true I can Muchikasemuno, Yera Assassino, at the Abudia so. We are not going to Jim God bless a home in Ghana. The be a name with the power, Musis, who boss working in China, and then we say there is still a princess rule, no? And her pass to resist the princess rule, no? A horror and a more triple power, and it's a 1 day of that, or more true. The day idea now, I know a Kakra. And you know, now, second deputy speaker. Wakasa and microphone, you know, myself for months or more near Macasra. Into a bit of the microphone, if I knew this of microphone, depending on no one who the back now, I saw the Crackasa Emma, nti ama speaker de no emma okasa emma nti wasore so spending also spending akra nya de to mika microphone the way I say wasore a work you know kono de gusu a was ni nya ne say ablikuma so here representation ablikuma north here representation ablikuma north no government business no ablikuma north no government business.
Okay.
Ablakwa need a representation.
Okay. Okay. Me now asena na bofa ewo parliament ya reporter de ekoso no no. Enti minority for no wo mo aka wo mo ho. Eno na last we kan say Kumasi o adwam ho Central Market na obi akwa bi chese afa no wabodam. No wo gigdem no wo maba so no wo to no pagya table. Wadamfo bi gina ho no mo saa wo se omunya na obedwo. Ubodam da bay. Na mokwa parliament minority side munya wa mantina. De mu ye ni ombejo. Eti
Ablakwa, where is Ablakwa?
Honorable members.
Where is Ablakwa?
What is this? Honorable members, the business statement as presented to us is hereby adopted. Honorable members,
Ablakwa needs a voice. No Ablakwa, no business. Where is Ablakwa?
Should engage the grassroots and explain things to them. Yes, say near air kono GRA issue any NCA Ghana Revenue Authority any National Communication Authority issue no near air kono Edward dia wo kan me no we ya adwen e wo se party no empenin fo no and yes, and one about quachiri moves, and one be engage grassroots to know who here because the and running the Esino Monday and Pesebe Twasso sa a Twasso sa and Yadia a bebwa emwa cra. Into was so moshena or mutimi resolve this issue once and for all. Na Yehunia Eko and Petru Kachu Kejumano a Dawson. A Jumane Dawson. May Banama Babe din come many Cape Coast North NDC Member of Parliament Dr. Kwabena Mintah Nyaku Babe di enkomo Cape Coast North constituency hono mo na o ma yine Kwabena Santini ayi kwatena hono mo se o ekwa yisiko hono abonto na adwunim hono abo me bana me no wa se hono mo no ma hene ufunu se ayibo fruit kene Japan na kai ko kai se okay yan fast dama tabia herbal center or the tabia herbal mixture aba edwa obi a malaria fever onuma to a wuntimi ni di wadro ni o tabia herbal capsules obi a yam timni sisi ade ha wo no pe tabia herbal capsules afa be ma wo pese wo boost wo me vitality na ahoden sonko eba wo ni pedua mu de o hia ye tabia takum ye wo sachet ene bottle wunya bottle no ani ebubra no men kakran se unya 18 years ekwa tabia herbal capsules ne tabia takum no enum bi eye 100% organic enuna tabia edeba okashi drug do so promo ho to 0243 686861 0243686861 and that's 0245749206 afre ye ton sase amansutwi bia eni hu medical ka kire mo sase ne maje medie eja mi sika sam wo fom timije 2 plots yes eno no ewo Kumase Atasamanso residential area Kumase asase ne boa no eda fom mansutwi bia ni hu enti wani abresa wo pasase ato a wo peke number yi na wa frɛ obusuani no akwa kama no watua wusika fasika nkosi obi aso why asase ne ben headline educational complex Mount Zion school ho Atasamanso Kumase mo amo estate developers ne ankwankwa mo pass asase de asimu dade ayemu project no bo modern a na frɛ 0242 770304 0242 770304 and na say 0242 770304 0242 770304 ye wo fikasie e wo circle e ben Freddy's corner odo rice ho a ye ton 6 bedrooms washrooms enso ewo mu ebi St Andrew Senior High School enso from was so vacancies form 1 form 2 form 3 school papa nie 2025-2026 academic year no admission no e koso gidigidi butu form 3 de no kwa ne hia no wodo ba kɔ hɔ no mu a hostel boarding facilities so ho e ba no wasi resources so they are excellent wodemu ba kon tesi chiblo last stop e hɔ and a St Andrew Senior High School of Frewamo 0249832015 0249832015 and now says 0546048332 0546048332 so sharing so Citizen TV na na sasa sekwe twame e dey send say na ama oh bright air blink e was Citizen TV enti YouTube and afen so Citizen TV ye demu live ya e honso no wo betimi ahwe ye e de afiri hono baby bia wo bia no message bra menya be na de menya bre na makenkan na masan so am wakwanya na so wafre abam na wakire wadwen e de afa dwumadie no ehun Dr. Kwabena Mintah Nyako okay Nyako eye MP NDC member of parliament Cape Coast North constituency enti honorable Echo Parliament 2020 ena kyerese one Barbara Asha Ayisi ena a call contest no na others ka ho but omo mkoye bibi na ebo wo mudi beja me fo nde ya yen ha ye ho emobo wo mudi enti 2020 ena honorable di kan Echo Parliament na 2020 no Barbara Ayisi wow onya na ono na win 2016 yeah we ye incumbent member of parliament ya na ban wo so an wo sanso kwa deputy minister na Barbara deputy minister and so honorable de Barbara opeja no de bo fom say poo because we voter Barbara is in 21,643 yeah no ye 48.51% ena dog nsunya 27,972 which is 51.49%.
That was 22,000. Barbara didn't mean 22,000.
22,000. Sana mangaza okay. 22,974.
That's right.
Yeah, no year 51.49%. And now 2024. Hey, honorable we here, Juma. And an uncle forcing creator I am piazza. Hey, I know me can't say almost a tiano mu ye de sana. Oh, go to the grounds, you. A demand of grounds.
The ground.
And you crying. No one could cruise Canada, come with me, what's not radio, so now, or your propaganda, the mouth. Because, echo, we see, Horace, echo. Yeah, no one representing MPP. And you are 17,045, which is 38%. 38%. Kwabena Mintah Nyako, NDC. Enya 27,521. Yeah, no year 61.35%. That is a utrinimu close to me say best 10,000. Over yes, over 10,000. Na mo ten crime. Say ko we see we near we. Saku is one of you know, I grow a yama, I run of our bono. Oh, I have my father.
What's up for me?
Say, I'm the San Francisco. Now, consistency to say,
I'm not to be able to call. Once or higher.
Ja. Said the rescue gun and send it as well. The Ghana for you trying to send a change, but changing any abanity. In him say, 6 months, 1 year, and be assets and you may be assets fine. Now, Parliament is what to say. We have Parliament said, yeah, Maka micro for your book on the issue.
Well, I'm there so far, so good. The last Parliament, and that's the 8th Parliament, we had a hang Parliament in Tinanya Mano Okwa. How do we be not fight Abim? Make levy no them go for papanum walk on as you go in my or Ghana winning him. But this particular one into the making micro minority view Abim, this is numbers no more of the NDC side. But on Cheddar will be bullying them. We will do what is needful. We will always do the consults and see there. And I'm on a YouTube about Ghana near Kuyim. But Nancy on the minority they are still thinking they are majority. Because every day the hula baloo and then the euphoria or after your mark you put across. I don't know whether he wants to be relevant more in the media space. Another probably that is his way of making people know he's also around. Things would have gone on as smoothly as we anticipate. So much to ask majority in the end, so we should stand firm. If we need to put our feet on the ground, we should do that. We shouldn't give him that room. We are getting our ministers in place. The deputy ministers will come. The BBR settler, to them here, we hope the Yaman settler will also get along and make sure that Ghana will go forward. And we are very fine. I'm sure things will be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yenin komo every constituency mra emran kran. Oko parliament 2020.
Yeah.
Time I woko parliament no na o party elusu.
Yeah.
Na ereshemu ni gidie wo mu say o party be wini. Na wo de akọ parliament. But uwura mu no edia sonko na wo ye kura na obi oye deputy minister infras enfi no obi oye deputy minister the party na ewo power which me din a chicken from etimi ewura mu ebeye MP e wo Cape Coast North.
Okay, Cape Coast North are a very dynamic constituency.
Okay,
we have the intellectual community, we have 3 tertiary institutions. And see, if you really want to go and then make sure they're able to be a winner or they may engage this particular intellectual or group now or constituency them. In terms of this year, Lucy, you know, a bit of research or Cape Coast North constituency. And you realize that there are certain areas if NDC is able to perform well, every time we are NDC will win the seat in Cape Coast North. One of the areas was the university community. Now many of the professors, the doctors, the lecturers, the students were more in tune with the MPP party. And as NDC, they decided, okay, if we need somebody to represent NDC, we should get somebody from the university. We are very good with the people. Our students also want a very good relationship.
Okay.
Then we have another community or Cape Coast North, Abra, that is our capital. And also more densely populated. But they also align with somebody they know from within. And then there's another place also here, Pedu, also predominantly MPP. So if we need somebody or you will be able to cut across these 3 areas. And once you're able to get Obia, then definitely the likelihood of NDC winning is high. And then after that survey, I realized that all the 3 attributes are for me.
Okay.
Exactly. Me a senior lecturer in the University of Cape Coast.
Okay.
And once me a senior lecturer of the University of Cape Coast, I'm here very close to the students and also very close to many of the senior lecturers and lecturers, and that could stand out for me. And now Brussels is where I am, and Pedro is where I also hail from. Okay. And see, if I'm in all these 3 areas now, all problems now. Once I have very good relationship with these individuals living in those respective communities now, once I step in to say I want to go for this position, regardless of whether I'm MPP or NDC, they will go for me because of the relationship I've already done. established with them. And also, I started doing a lot of philanthropic activities even before thinking of becoming an MP. 2009, 2010, that was when I relocated to Ghana. And I was already doing stuff with it. So it wasn't Michelle Kakrevi. It was sometime here. Besides the mere bridges, solar lights in many of the community centers and all that. In Zimbabwe, so between 2009 and 2016, na full front into politics. It's only when we lost in 2016.
Now when you were nim who said
exactly.
But now we're NDC.
Yes, NDC. And I wasn't really discussing politics as at then. And a lot of people based on me, not because I'm NPP and I'm NDC. And a lot of them were surprised. Really? And I'm saying, yeah. I'm a more socialist. I think more of the masses than to think about myself. And my ideology fits with the NDC. Into them, I would rather go in for the NDC. And interestingly, the majority of my family members, about 97% of my family members are MPP. And see, my case is dicey, but at the end of the day, you also have to understand that I have my own opinion, and I have to associate myself where I believe strongly. And see, the family, well, was okay, quite. So that's what I did. And see, we started the Moko grounds, meaning confusing, what problems are. When I can, I go and fix it. The man, and so do baby now. Now I want to become the parliamentary candidate. I went unopposed. So the first time that I went,
parliamentary primaries,
I went unopposed. Yeah, and see, that was the good thing I had. That means that the grassroots were looking for when I opened over contest, and also Ragano, because then let's allow him to go. So Wamama Kwe and Nyame Adom, I was able to topple Barbara Ashaisi, who happens to be my sister too.
Hey, first time I would you to know on a post, party
primaries, yeah,
and I will call elections on a pack. Whose sister will say I can't talk for
on Sunyame.
Okay, and to Yamra, we need an Uba Parliament.
That's right.
And to Uba Parliament as a member of NDC, who represented political party. Only a bem, or war position. Once what bay, one who say, and Kwabena GDS could be expectation or and to what buy now party near Bemono say, and now parliament it's here, our first time.
Well, it was a bit very interesting. Two, you see, character differentiation, and then three, you see that Nyama used to know is not what is there. As a senior lecturer in the University of Cape Coast, we will lecture at 9:30. We start at 9:30.
Okay.
Maybe 2 hours, bampun. So everything was on time. Time. I remember Parliament. They say we'll sit at 10. We end up sitting at 1. We end up sitting at 2. Then you get confused. So why am I here? What's going on? That was sitting at 2. We end up sitting at 5. You took money up on the next day 2 a.m. I said, what? What is all this?
I don't know what
So you needed to learn. It's okay then. Because what a moment there is different is that anytime we have to sit, the leadership must decide on what we are going to talk about. And so when there's a difference between the speaker will have to come in, or you're up, okay, let's go and sit. But that time now, where the exchanges and then the time is going. Instead of we sitting at 10, we end up sitting at 12 or 1. So no Monday Hasana Parliament one for time in age. So I just to near mana one more year or what? We knew. It's the first time I remember I was sitting with some new parliamentarian speaker Kabi no here, then he started here with so hey, here we don't clap. Here we don't clap. I mean university we are able to say yeah, that's okay. Now, so there were new things that we're learning, and Yamiad also were orientation. So we got to know how we have to dress, and then how we have to look, the things you shouldn't say. Where's BOA account? What's unparliamentary? It's not nice. And so you have to learn all this.
Where's BOA?
Like today, the person has lied. You may have a different opinion, but don't conclude unless you have strong evidence to say
and only a floor no more
for the floor. Exactly.
But out to the
honestly, you can be
because out to them can be see
They will show you how to dress, your orientation, some of the things you do. One of the is in Komo, and then Yama Odi Tumaka. There are some Yama Biwa will stay in Parliament. We need once unless you've been given the permission to do so. And now, when committees will be working along, and then the agencies under those committees you'll be able to get to know more about them. And so, also, okay. Now, when you come to the defense and interior, these are the prisons, are there, military, all those things. And we had to align ourselves to
committees. No, now who will be so.
Yes.
Okay, now committee.
First one, youth and sports.
Okay.
And poverty reduction.
Okay.
And 2024, was called defense and interior.
Okay.
And was called committee of petitions, which I'm the vice chair.
Oh, okay.
Of the committee. So.
Okay. And see, 2020 to 2024, no so because you say even MPC. Omokra party oma bind was so no kwan almost struggle
yeah
Koya could do say majority leader then majority leader honorable HMS supposed to con constituency am I able to true yehuru no and then Ashanti region MPC o hono mokra ye press conference say omkom constituency a ni yehuru wa mu because omunya bibia anko wa mu a say be yasenko hene ba ne papa te ase wa mu papa e wa ban mu esu enti munu a mukoto munu a mo papa ni aban mu no na eba no fund mu ni se mu betimi anya bibidi akomo constituency net say
today my work can one part no one aban one they were struggling and so we're equally struggling but today my can it's always good to form very good relationships around you Honorable Afenyamo Kim was at UCC Kakra. When he was there, I was a whole president. Another Umpre was there, I was a whole president. We have so many other people. Patrick Buama was there, I was a whole president. I was in Casford. We all in Zamina, whole president. We knew ourselves. In Timebe, I thought it was a very good opportunity to start rekindling our friendship and then get to know. But even when we also will hustle. But you need to establish that banner, you are here to represent your people. In as much as one will struggle, you should find other alternative ways of also doing what you have to do. My whole first year, I did not get any money from Get Fund. None. Yeah, Dawson. We were many. That's right. Mizamba, that is 2021, 2022, I never got it.
Hey.
So 2021, 2022, I didn't get any HIF fund. I didn't get Fund. And then the common fund no bear, and I had only 1 or 2. That's it. But then my people needed me to do something for them. So I had friends who are living abroad, and they been to Ghana. Sometimes we normally sit and discuss what we can do for my constituency. Here, but I was okay. Raga, abazin motuma yamo. Okay, I think the motuma to Jesus 20 amount. Then I'm all community. Then these guys will come and give me the jerseys. Me feed them to me renovate chips compound to support you. So all these friends came by to come and support. And to me, to whatever investment I had, I also decided to use some to also support. And to me, first year, they were marveled what I was able to do because I was in opposition.
Okay.
And I was not getting the funds that was rightly
first year, second year,
I did not get. And these friends came to cushion me. And then Oma Ejumana Mayor grounds or very visible. All the schools, basic schools in Cape Coast North, Wuni Ngwa, Raga supply Wunina Ngwa. All the schools in Cape Coast North, Wuni football jerseys, Wuni football, Raga supply every.
Okay.
All the communities in Cape Coast North, all the second cycle schools, all the tertiary cycle schools, Nina Kwamna, Wutuma Mubia. Street lights everywhere is lit up.
Okay.
So I started doing all these jobs for the people to know that I'm there indeed to serve, regardless of whether I'm a party or whether I'm a party. And I think that was one of the reasons why they decided to vote overwhelmingly for me. Because when there's a mabani you I should be able to do more. So that is the reason why the votes really went up. Even though Ibakama contest was known to be financially muzzled, but at the end of the day, I've realized that Cape Coast North constituency, they look at things in a different perspective, not monetary. Exactly. Because Esha, Honorable Babache, 2016, she was a teacher at the Wesley Girls.
Okay.
Honorable Kobe Champon was a deputy minister. and then had all the resources. So thinking about Cape Coast, all right. So we thought that could win him the seat easily. But was a Kamobio teacher, our secondary school. That meant that wasn't what we were looking for. And more so, Ofosu, he was not from there as an indigent.
Okay.
And me being there as an indigent, that also helped. And the relationship and the very few things between me and so Obuema or Tumudaba.
84 years from 2020 to 2024, the aside one Kasa initiative, no, which me mobilizing Yamaka crowd the coin. I buy one Kasani dear, went to me as a member of parliament, no, went to me and lobby and ye be and cause me percent your project way.
Every baby ever could be they turn you down.
Wow.
They turn you down. So we have to also think about what we can do. AstroTurf, I went for a lot of meetings because I was a member of the youth sports committee. And see, and say that if you are a member of the youth sports committee, you'll be considered if we are AstroTurf now across Ghana. And then as a member, I started looking out for that opportunity. I went to all the agencies they will be able to support. I went to GMPC, I went to Ghana Gas. When you know, I have letters, I have meetings with them. Unfortunately, they didn't help. So I had to physically and then personally start AstroTurf in Cape Coast, not on my own. It's Mamis Kakakramini and I'm starting here. You go query that and work there.
Wow, AstroTurf.
Yes, I'm doing AstroTurf.
I hope so. Who dear by AstroTurf because you're called Asen North. Only you be on AstroPoo.
And
now you are stroke. It's what I poo. No one in half flood. I'm not what got the old yard. I asked stroke poo, you know. It was a very I was a 40 Cape Coast North NDC member of Parliament, Dr. Kwabena. Oh, it didn't Kwabena Mintah.
But do our friend Raga and Raga. That's right.
No wonder say 8 parliament mobile for parliament because I'm Rambo was swag. No wonder. The last time I made sure 9 parliament. One of the MPs NDC side, you know.
Yeah.
Now, microphone and you can create confrontation. But I could be sorry, or some way you cry, best answer. Let me say, man, Rama boy, yeah. Maybe I doubt it. If you want to beat you, we can beat you. But I said, honorable, you man, add you. Are somewhere you know.
Oh, yes. You have to have the passion to serve.
Yes.
Honestly, and it's very financially demanding and time demanding. What talking about every weekend I go to Cape Coast. Every weekend. And commuting from Accra to Cape Coast every weekend on the phone. You have to sacrifice because there are always programs you have to attend and go for your graduation. All the institutions a year. Obi kuna mama, obi kuna papa, obi brother bra. Adoring.
Honorable me kwa wali.
Obi kodi no do. Yes.
Honorable me kwa wali na abu TV. Honorable kwa wali do abu fro.
No friend. What to basis over sana from? It's not easy. But
one kwa just any.
Yeah, I could be easy and call the other one trouble. And see that one there. But I think there's one thing that in Kofubi one tassy, and it's about time. I think the NCC should educate Ghanaians on that particular score.
Okay.
MPs would you be monthly, apart from the annual or the quarter statutory funds now oba or MPs no funds is coming anywhere. In some monthly pay no was moment. If I don't get fund, I don't get the NHI fund or the common fund. Some projects may not be completed or be done at all. Now, what's happening there? Get fund wasn't more annually, so the government will give you 60,000 Ghana cedi for the entire year.
60,000.
Yes, 60,000 Ghana cedi for the entire year. The last one year in Kenya, no 100,000 Ghana cedi for that year.
Okay.
So that year is what you get till the following year. If you have 100,000, you are supposed to use the 100,000 for educational related projects. If you want to build a school, can 100,000 build a school? You cannot build a school. One igwa is about 500 cedis or 600 cedis. If you want to buy 100, how much is it? 600,000 gone. You have over 39 schools in your community.
Constituency.
In your constituency. You have teachers who want you to support them with scholarship. You have students who want, how can this 100,000 suffice? But when you mean them, we feel the ones about Beno or the damage crash on some one who in a or date so. Same thing with NHIA. NHIA 100,000 Ghana for the year. Our chips compound be 13 or who constituency. When you now yampa, when you roofing, when you curtains, when you incubators, all these things, that money cannot suffice. That is why you have lobbying skills to go out there. That is also. That's why that is the point. And one task them. And one task is there, common fund or by every quarter. A whole year, no one for common fund. How are you going to survive? Sometimes my answer is so you cannot do everything concurrently. If I'm deciding to pick one community, I should be able to focus and finish whatever project or me or maybe then I move to the next one. And see, so one task them so they get not to understand why there's a delay or why you're not even doing it at all. And you say NCC for to educate Ghanaians on what it is. I think it's going to be better for us. I mean, what you call 15,000 every month as an MP. 15,000, yes, that's what I take home.
Oh, na say nya him bia.
That's it. It is a 15,000 pound, 1,000 Ghana cedis. Me MP.
When I mean, I say me kwa MP. Say me pen baby ntina.
I would say I'm walk.
Say munya dasa.
See, 115,000 as an MP. If a driver want to be technical, the government doesn't pay your driver.
Oh, sir.
Oh, yes. As an MP, if a cook want to be technical, the only ones that the government takes care is ministers. And these new ministers are if a driver want to be technical, if a security man want to be technical, if a cook want to be technical. They say Tiada Monko Pina ko yawaka.
Asa.
And there's a monthly pay. In our monthly pay no be better way expensive him. Then the constituency will be asking
you.
So how do you also fit into that particular 16th of the middle of the month? No be afro yeska. I was actually more pay.
Hey, and then there's MPs in the
MPs they can't go back to their constituency. Do you know that some MPs hardly even be able to afford fuel? I'm telling you the truth. Wow. I'm telling you the truth. Look at the number of funerals you have to attend. I mean, Cape Coast Nota. Mutumanko 5 Saturday. The other 5 number into Manko on the Sunday I have to go. So I decided to go to every particular funeral and at least me be less than 300 or 400 Ghana cedis each. That is 5. That is for the Saturday. The Sunday same. How much am I spending? Where am I going to get all these monies from?
Okay.
So some of them will not even come at all because they will not be able to foot the bill.
Okay.
But what's needing so one task.
Okay.
So sometimes
why a new mushroom could be a constituency because any can you see yenim say wa ba no wa boa no pa e no ni beram ni yenim say senka yesika nko ase je 100 200 nko ade a enka bia ka sika fa nko be bi tiu enti eniema besronko ena aside say before wo beba wa ka say na wo ye that philanthropist say you niema no e de ma omanfo bi ho no mo 4 years ni no eniema be po beba ku mienu ena hunu say wutimi gina wo na so enfa ho say wo common fund dem ba enfa ho say NHIS dem ma enfa ho say get fund dem ma ye no kura no ena Kenya constituency ho fo a wo mo share wan munyam sa.
Okay. I was in sectors.
Okay.
And see, as a member of the Youth and Sports Committee, I decided to make sure that I will improve sports in Cape Coast North. In every community, we have 49 communities. Every community, we have one football jerseys, one football, and I'm one host, the one from mobile.
Okay.
Some of the communities are winning gold posts. I provide gold posts for them. Communities are winning more. I was at the war park. I got mowers for all those communities.
Okay.
You know, all the tertiary institutions. Every hall we have more jersey, more football, so that they also participate in sporting activities. Me, I call second cycle school. My family produce basketball. I love basketball. But sneakers and our trainers, that they should use it to train. one away taekwondo, Central Region Taekwondo team. I sponsored them. Marathon team. I sponsored them.
Okay.
And our friend then what we call it the dwarfs and the vipers.
Okay.
They are football clubs in my Cape Coast. Once wherever they are going, I also sponsor them.
Okay.
So I did that for sports, and then I topped it up with AstroTurf Marian.
Oh yeah.
And so that is what they saw, and they realized that okay, I'm improving sports in that particular community. Do you remember education? Education. What I did was that every Afribia Opedoko SHS Nanifi Oyezen, I wanted to support that individual. And those names are given to me by the head teachers of all the basic schools.
Okay.
And every head teacher will give me a number of names of Daman Coffee. So I wasn't buying mathematical sets to the kids. The reason is that I mean that for maybe all GHS 1 and GHS 2 anyas or mathematical sets. Into a day or two exams, mathematical sets no man. I've not really done anything because he already has it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Into I'd rather support you to go to SHS. So even though SHS claims is free, but for man work with school, you know on your freedom. And see, I supported all of them. One I work with 250 Ghana cedis each to go to school.
Wow.
And then all the basic schools in Cape Coast North are not only desks, mono and then dual. I supplied it to all the schools. So all the schools had mono and then dual desks to sit on. So no child was sitting on either. If a mono, there should be 2. Or if you there should be 3. No, they were just.
Constituency what dear? Obia or baby.
Everybody.
Okay.
Exactly. Desk.
Abrabia oko school bia.
Keep Coast North bia. We'll go better. Then there were some schools that were very poor when it comes to infrastructure.
Okay.
And then one of them was English Arabic. We renovated the entire school for the constituency. UCC school fee support. Support over 628 students with school fees. And not only UCC, those who are in Legon, those who are the teacher training college, those who are the nursing. So far as you are from my constituency, was the latest was about I also do well.
Now we have one quadia.
Definitely. So I always remember was the latest in our or in my office. So I have 3 guys in the office who are able to collate all that information. One I work on Legon, one I work on Commander, one I work on nursing and all that. Then we put them there. Based on the amount of money we have in our coffers, then we share it amongst them. The lesser number we get, the more fees we are able to pay for you. The more numbers we get, the lesser fees we are able to pay for you. But at the end of the day, we cushion you.
Okay.
Now also it's my corner, Akayebi. We've been able to also send 15 people abroad to go and study.
Hey.
You will go for America, you will go for UK, you will go for Netherlands, you will go for Jamaica.
Through your initiative.
Through my own initiatives.
Hey.
So they are all there studying currently as I speak.
15.
15 until they are working and studying at the same time.
Wow.
And they have scholarships too for their studies until fees in here as our own case. So we're able to do that, and people appreciated that efforts. There were a lot of schools that no one roof in here. They were leaking. Ninesin, Efutuko Kwado, Pedu, all those schools in I just renovation. And see that also helped. Then from there we went to health, and you realized that many of the chips compound were not in a very good shape. And as I said earlier, first year Mensanka, second year Mensanka was the third year that I had the common fund, the NHI fund coming through. So I had enough money to be able to renovate that. So I did 7. Astro and chips compound. Ghana ambulance in my constituency, no one office. Supplies, they didn't have fridges, they didn't have so they also came to me and I also went there to support them as well. And Jonathan for shadow and I worked at the operational to Modo Abba. Again, there's a Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. They needed something we call the phototherapy machine. So Banas Obani or John Desa was not to them incubator machine to treat our friend, my friend also no. We also did that for them. Then we came to entrepreneurship. Then they support with Nsanu Juma. So I trained a lot of people in biodigester construction. And when I was seeing how to do the construction. We supply 1,500 sewing machines. We supply 1,500 hair dryers just to support one hour open with it's 3 years. We did what we call the community label t-shirts production. And see every community be t-shirts. Yes, one isn't, yes, to him. So that if you wear it, we know you are from Kwapro, or you are from Okudzeto, or you are from any of the communities that were there.
Okay.
Yeah, just to support them.
Okay.
We see taxi station, ma Kwapro community. We see bridge, ma Duakro community. We renovate Amamuma Chips compound. All the communities in Cape Town, we move the street light.
Because honorable and count to me saying we need this with this. Sometimes we share to set who compare 2020 to 2016 endorsement. I said why you be a so month when and almost share when Munyam was our coin so. After Yamra, he said, yeah, constituency for constituency who said what buying it was sweet. Enti expectation here high but me ni kwan wo hwe appointment here e koso here wo say aban bi aba akwaya say empanifo bi asom ne ya say yi wo mo ane asa the positions ama wo mo mpanifo na no but this time around enema sesa kakra wo hu ni say.
Well, I think that the appointing officer on no jirechi and on morokodo and then one on you want capabilities and competence. His Excellency John Dramani is a very lucky man. He's a lucky man because only the only president, only the only man why a president 3 times in the country. Professor Okabibin obey president. The next election obey president. Nasisa was not a president. So he knows the dynamics of the country. And on him and as we said, no contribution, no job. Nobody knows what contribution anybody has put in. But on what stage, should be able to identify one hour contribute well to the party coming back to power. And as he said, he's here to make sure that Obi make a name for himself. And Ofide say he has the prerogative to change anybody at any time. In no after a year, let me do reshuffling. You come and do the work. I like the youthful front of one hour people now. That means he's looking at succession of people taking over the country at a certain point in time. I mean, my point of view is there's a whole time also, just be patient.
Okay.
Just be patient. You may even be marvel about it.
A bedroom, so.
Couldn't be ado, ubodudo. And the young far, young Nimzi one was on urban nature there. If I were there, in Kame my and if indeed this person is doing this, let me also add what I think. Also succeed. Once the person succeed, we will call it succeed.
Okay.
Because this year now, NDC's ability to win the next election is dependent on their performance now. And if you all don't come together and help NDC to win and then succeed, we also not succeed. And if you are looking for a post somewhere, work now so that your term will also come for you to have the post. So for me, I'm more than comfortable whatever the president is doing.
Okay. No, minority leader can send me President Mahama Mapagana for chow. Now the task ahead, eso. In the 60 now kind of more. And then so you hear chia 2017 wabra MPP take over now. Sabria Kwane debt to GDP say 56%.
That's right.
Inflation was around 54%. And then your friend say your debt
inflation,
your total debt was around 120,000. Over sector by sector and then the economy no grow over IMF predictions.
Exactly.
But now Akufo-Addo say boom 120 MPs. And then compare that time that period to 2025 and can say Bianca NDC here 150 ministers.
500
and 500 because Adumani a huge a huge responsibility. And economy, every sector, every angle biano baby I say. And or can say 60. Yeah, when you should cry, I can't want them say, sister, no, other one, you say, regional minister 60 be free one. I'm an aka 44.
Right.
Deputy si womuana. Now where the said ya di kwai die said abre I was so pebi de kan ho. Enti ono ba fenyo mark is asem kan no uso mu say adwuma ne so. Enti sister ya 16 regional ministers free mu afa ya ministers aka best few yi na say ministry bi ko onya deputy ya dia no. Ebetimi mu betimi dia ya adwuma said ya Ghana for hwehwe.
Well, I'm feed Ozikan corridor here. Minority leader or apologize to the good people of Ghana. Because indeed, say I'm a Morocco, me if you benem. Mamo CD to 3 cities 90 pesos or 4 cities to 20 pesos, right? For $1. Mamo inflation of something within the decade of 13 or 8%. Then Mamo or friend then fuel 1 liter is this amount of money. Now Awaba, you campaign on the fact that you bring in a lean government. Now government we increase the number of ministers to a certain number, which was more or which is more than Maye Zijawa. Who should be apologizing to the other? And here you have a man, Honorable Kachiro there. Despite all the challenges we are facing, challenges are our crew. You, the minority leader in your government, one our crew that much challenges in your that war. And this man comes in and says that regardless of I can still work with this number of people and make sure that we achieve what we have to do. You should be clapping for him. In any case, if he says, okay, me pede, me 5 come on, he has that right. The constitution gives him the right to appoint as many people so far as he thinks that but I believe that he has a reason for doing that. And the ministries be so that you don't have to get so many ministries coming up. Now exactly to reduce the number of oil ministers are oil the offer. And see, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, 16 crowd I has it do. I has it go 80. Okay, 80 and 100 numpa. It is still less than oil MPP.
Yes, and no afenyo can because on say 60 60 afenyo can say eduma ne so.
Eduma no so because one no be saying. And no refusing one and no eduma no. They were less than my Cesare Akufo was one baby. And so no benya more ministers, more than mono Cesare John Dramani Mam OJ. And all baby no catch there. After studying the economy, I think I can make with 60.
Okay.
So allow him to make with 60.
Okay.
If there's a need for him to come and justify why or those become
okay.
But they should rather apologize to Ghanaians for spoiling the economy. To them making every sector be I say. Every sector be I say. And she say also the urban one being here. It doesn't have to be the people, it's about efficiency. And on feed the phone would my efficient enough for us to be able to make things okay. And see, me feel that you should allow the president to be. Let him do what he thinks he can do. He's a strategist, he's a communicator, and should be able to do exactly what he has asserted that he will do.
Mosha, honorable pressure damoso. NDC are buying way. What she said here, near Messi Kona, expectation ya dena area pressure damoso.
Of course. You have an economy where 7.3 people are living in abject poverty. It's a serious challenge. You have an economy where about 7 million Ghanaians are not working. We've school since 2017, 2018. They are all staying at home. And there's no job. Unemployment rate is around 13-15%. A whole economy, you have the youth not working. It's a challenge. And I think that Enyama was a Gufumun will help us to get to a place where Yawombotoyen. One, you are looking at apprenticeship program on your Biano Doko University, on your Biasno University or Tiedo. There are some people who may go into fashion. There are some people who may go into other areas, but they will use one son was the age, right? So here's a president who is saying that okay, even though we are in school, all those who are interested in doing ABCD, my band is prepared to make sure that Unsabeka Azibia Ebeya. I'll make those limbary environment for you to learn Unsani Juma. Was that war? There's this 24-hour economy policy. There, Yempede Ubiabe 5 to 8 and 8 to 5. Ebi now Kofi no bisaba no
Formula 888.
Exactly.
Okay.
And these are ways of create job. And you see, as you are creating job, you are also increasing your revenue generation. So I remember 8 to 5. At the end of the month, man continue with your tax onto them.
Yeah.
Good. I will call. Okay, you 8 hours. You put your tax at the end of the month. Doesn't pay 8 hours. I'm submit your tax. Minyanku bisu babe 8 hours. Ian 3 no, you pay tax and we have generated revenue enough so that it will not give us the government to come and tax you again.
Okay.
Why should we come and tax you when we have added additional 2 people to what we are already receiving?
And the finance minister and Chemo the buyer said one may introduce new taxes and then the existed ones no one may increase, you know. After so because he levy crown on say MPP for na ka say mutwamu a ebeye wo haw betting mutwamu a ebeye wo haw eno mo ne ade na che say there are other means ways to raise the revenue.
That's right.
Okay. Honorable person me bo honorable Kwadwo Opon Kroma video bi.
Okay.
Na meje o submission na meje wadwen kire.
That's okay.
Okay. Mo call parliament no there finance minister after almost swearing in on energy minister no can be say energy minister John Jinapo Ghana form person o mo beti say yedum kanea Ghana form pe excuses bia
right.
Ghana for MP say obeko fuel pump so kwakoto fuel na yatum eno de Ghana ni mpe biate then now the enchiremu bi e explanation bi eba Ghana form person o mo beti say your bills, electricity bills,
cannot be paid, yeah.
Akosro, yempesi ebe hunu biye.
Right.
Enti wakanya bebe si finance minister so de so. So betwa yi levy. Wo ba betwa betting tax, so ba be ye de ben de ben. Afen so say revenue mobilization so kra no. Wo ba be nya ne bebre.
Yeah.
De Ghana fon person on betie ne say wo di new taxes e ba. And I said the existed ones, those existed no sukrano. O baba ye review. Na udi biya kahun. Said the udi kai. O he baby 2017 MPP are buying EJ Ghana free ye. Na baby di Ghana drew. Such comments no say a free MPP side air bar. Aya uso say.
I think the way one can cast on Puma when they are some record when he is age. Are you getting a point? Yes, Abanamo. Abarembo Dumson, one castle claiming the I said, my baby, you need to be Ababenim. It is now coming back. You are not criticizing yourself, but I hope the exercise will be full. You have more timelines there, but damage mana. Oh yeah, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Wakan. I would have wished them to obey a phone. Now that my timeline no swan. Nasi ya it may be John Akabibi. Mamuska, yeah, by it's called Ghana in 1.22 billion.
122.
Yes, 122 billion. How ebefido? You are hitting over 700 billion. You are not complaining about what you have done, but will be our mass say now or you are the one attacking. We feel that it is too early for them to start doing these blame games. We are still appointing our ministers. All the ministers will go back to their respective sectors. In some way, they will let us know. Then we'll be able to craft strategies about all these challenges that we are. I believe in the competence of the people that have been appointed so far.
Okay. Sure. Too early. Said you okay. Say baby I'm going to Ghana free no. Any baby I'm going to Ghana do no. We be Ghana ho no mo aka say from a liter fuel liter 4 cities. It says around base 15 cities. Now because Ghana from person better so betum. And then baby adapt to GDP e do no ne ade no. But o hwen so a omo betimi agina so daache e dey propaganda e dey tia munti Ghana fo bi e ka and then President Mahama so kora ka say every sector when your opportunity na kokoda no a ma yehu the state of affairs
exactly
only omo ya adwene say omo brief Ghana fo
yes so the music can NCC the government should make sure that whatever information is there no is disclosed mo bi ehu ebe 100,000 about you. I'm watching maybe 100,000 about you. 100,000. Since I asked no, you pay 50 years a day. You pay 20 years a day. And you say, "Osa, damn not say." You pay a konya can pay damn skiers ba. Obi abin yejuma. In yejuma, all taxes ba na yekin na buma. Or 1 trillion. 1 trillion. You pay see hospital ha. You pay see you are. Just disclose the information.
Okay.
Once Ghanaians are happy to get the information, one point radio dumpunkasa. The one kade AI because they have the facts. So disclosure of information is vital as far as I'm concerned. Put your issues on the table. Everybody sees it and they are able to make any informed decision. Here in Edama, Obabwa, how can you print money and we are not aware you've printed money? These things should have been disclosed. And as it's a criminal activity. Until let us know. That's what I was saying. All these ministers will go back to their sector ministry. As I handing over notes was they will know. They will let us know. Honorable Jinapo started the audit closely. Yes, the code day. Even offended electricity, we're going to have issues. MPP we're going to have issues. They had to quickly do some magic to make sure the able to be your lighting will be on. So if we didn't know about this, if you had not been there, and if you there, so every minister go to your sector ministry, disclose whatever it is there. Let us all appreciate what is there, and the steps that you are taking to ensure that nyama ekuhuno. Also, as I remember Ghana, and the man feed Ghana free and Casabibi.
Okay, Yenti Honorable Kwadio Ponko Mamra, ye bet to us.
Okay.
Eugene Bannon. I was your for NT Cape Coast North Member of Parliament, and Yenu and Como, at the Afa, it's a ninth Parliament.
Honorable John Jinapo, our brother, is well versed in the subject of energy and finance. He has offered a lot of explanations about take or pay and things that are going on in the past. Mr. Speaker, no matter the explanations you give, and I speak as a former member of cabinet, a few lessons that we can share with our colleagues. No matter the explanations that you give, what the people of Ghana are waiting for is that fuel prices don't go up, the electricity prices don't go up, the fuel is available at the pumps, that the lights don't go off. We wish our brother well, and we hope he delivers in that area. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Dr. Ofosu spoke about 4 things that I want to briefly comment on. One was on raising revenue. The Honorable Dr. Ofosu says that his target is to move tax to GDP ratio from 13% to about 18%. That's about 500 basis points. Mr. Speaker, 1% of GDP is about 10 billion Ghana cedis. So to move it from 13 to 18 is about 50 billion Ghana cedis. At a time when, as we have agreed across the political divide, some tax handles should be removed. E-levy, COVID, betting. E-levy and COVID alone, nothing less than 20 billion. So what he's promising us is that he's going to take away about 20 billion from the revenue handles, but still grow it by another 50. We are hoping that he will do that without introducing new taxes or renaming some of the taxes. And whatever he will do in that area, we will support him and help him. If it works well and Ghana moves to 18% of GDP, it works well for all of us. Mr. Speaker, he spoke about expenditure cuts and says that he's committed to it. On this side of the House, we had already advertised that we are looking forward to about a cut of 3% of GDP. So we'll be looking forward to the expenditure cuts that he will present in his first budget, and we'll help him to achieve it. However, Mr. Speaker, whatever cuts we do, we should ensure that quality of projects are not being sacrificed. We should expect that ongoing projects that are delivering value to Ghanaians are not sacrificed. Yesterday, the Honorable Agbodja at his vetting mentioned that commitment on roads is about 100 billion. That means about 100 billion worth of road projects ongoing. These cuts, we are hoping, will not lead to a stop of the major critical road and other infrastructure projects across the country. Mr. Speaker, the third thing he spoke about, which I want to briefly comment on, is debt management. That under his administration, they will do better in debt management. At the same time, he's considering taking some more money from the IMF. That's not a grant, that's debt. What is that debt going to do? Worsen our debt situation or improve it? So, Mr. Speaker, we'll be looking forward to these things and helping our brother Ato to achieve those objectives. And finally, the respected minority leader drew attention to the fact that when the president issued the EI on the ministries, he said Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. But Honorable John Jinapo, our brother, is well versed in the subject of energy and finance. He has offered a lot of explanations about take or pay and things that are going on in the past. Mr. Speaker, no matter the explanations you give, and I speak as a former member of cabinet, a few lessons that we can share with our colleagues. No matter the explanations that you give, what the people of Ghana are waiting for is that fuel prices don't go up, the electricity prices don't go up, the fuel is available at the pumps.
But so what's way?
Well, it's interesting, maybe could you also something, but I think it's in the right direction.
Okay.
It's in the right direction because I don't feel the wako my walk and yama on cinema from where we are coming from. And as a word of caution,
okay,
we'll make sure there's a Okudzeto you should look out for the alternative revenue or ways are obutum wama ska awaba. And at Mama Ken, I even tried using the 24-hour economy a bit to show you some aspect of what they generate. That's right.
Okay.
So, what other alternative ways what will raise oil revenue? Even if they decide to go to the IMF, that means it's a negotiation that would detail whether or not the debt they are going for is better or is not.
Okay.
And see, let us one more uncle, what is there? Oba, you come and talk to us and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say what by Madikaka or party in our power.
That's right.
And see Cape Coast North expecting near Marcus Yakasi. The Oyama woman yaso. They said dear papa bay dear.
Mamma,
and mamma's rabbi, mammy, or then papa bay dear. One more expectation a high pa. And to going forward, you know, a dear in a sewer niswa, who pass away ye and in Sember and Apes or catch our constituents.
Well, Ozikan made one say. Mada Oya Cape Coast North constituency for us there. When you just woman, the Anamona me on to the previous election year, no. Oto wana komado. Ma wasana mama Quinja there. Remember na mebijin wana name. Dema when you waganan or man paying wash I say or chich any positions ama wana opede where you was a buana my yokoyim. Na there or man paying ba Cape Coast North no so bakade senyame adum na se yewina oye maso ozimbesi BBP na musumetu mabwa nti na don't find I want tie each the yensu using baba
Monday Cape Coast no for boom because I me what about boy for crowd we na manti ase say one member of parliament nya binti almost shit ties
as when we
na do crowd no parliament body monya the whole president na wu whole president no mu manya mo sa prefo
obi o closer but me feel odi nyambotara I mean on you be no be position I mean if I don't get the position I will not be worried. I will not be worried. Sunday, first of all, I need to represent my people there. And once I'm there, I will know where to pull some few strings. But so definitely I will deliver. And see about to test one from pipe one tie each. Na bibi able to me ako yaka jika krifi will be a yensanka me to me from Brown. Committees so baba. And once you are able to get a committee, you call the baby papa. You see between Yami, Juma Wabi Fia, we will definitely do what we can do. It is true, expectations are high. But other ones what I said there, we also come to inherit BBA. We need to make sure the cushion economy in Kakra before we can do this disbursement of initiatives and all that. But I'm very confident His Excellency John Dramani, ma'am. I'm very, very confident. Whenever I talk to him, I feel so refreshed with ideas and strategies.
Oh
yes. Oh yes. So sometimes we need to also appreciate that opportunities are in. And I wish him the best. I wish the Vice President, who is also coming from my constituency, and now so we've been talking. Yes, in Komo, yes, that's right.
Cape Coast North.
Yes, Cape Coast North.
Yenya second Europe. So Vice President, if you call this Vice President, any money excuse, and this government, and this are many excuse.
Oh, we will do our best, certainly. Mean there, Prof Nana, Najin, or Central Region and Cape Coast North. Mimle President Muhammad Sudaman, because anytime Yoba keeps he's very happy. The way Jinodo Yamanajin, he also had a soft spot for Cape Coast North. In the Namebe Adoma, whatever he's doing, you know, he consider the Central Region and also Cape Coast North.
How be a dear how constituency Nyamia Buya said the Okasabana, our lobby, Nyamia Buya, or party about power. Say, on Saka Unya. When you dear, who say, when you're dear, when you bet Japan constituency, and you bet Japan.
Sanya may I do not to me a factory studio constituency. Yeah. I'll be very happy. Na Minya Nkofubi, Juma, once work at the Raga Bay, my Yosi, Mamso, Minya Missan Juma. Even though my
factory too, dear, never one more, farming and now fishing and I say okay.
Your fishing community.
Okay.
Your fishing community, no majority of them is have no now they are into Gary production.
Okay.
If I made to get a very big Gary production or factory or it will serve a very good purpose. You can even export some to Nigeria. School feeding. That's it. And see, that is one of the things. There's 2 communities here. Also, they're also into Gary production. You have to get that factory for them. I'll be very happy. And fruit factory, so that will also help because majority of farmers now want to. They are also into fruit production, and also but I have a personal stuff apart from the AstroTurf now. And I'm talking to some few people. Now me, I don't say we are able to finalize that decision now. We also bring a soccer factory there. You buy jerseys, you buy football boots, you buy balls nazi in Cape Coast North. So one from Pabonta said in here. I'll get some people working.
Cape Coast North youths, one more pay mama because I mama went you one mama hey, what house our bank have a paid you
yes, that's it.
Baby, I prepared you man. And you might never be with Chroma. What it's football lessons so power.
Oh yes, I mean it's one of the
black time.
Oh, see, I'm sure they will pick it up. It will get there.
I'm going to say that if you are coming near China,
but I think we will get there. Cape Coast factory, the only factory we have is a private one. I mean Sangari, but CCI is under the One District One Factory Initiative.
Okay. Now what are that?
No.
Okay.
Now only Guye.
Okay.
And revamp here with the One District One Factory Initiative.
Okay.
But still, the funds not here. It wasn't what they got. It's still struggling.
Okay.
And then I think in there I was with the Honorable Samuel Atamils. We were talking about factories in Central Region and you're able to be Abua. And we also mentioned Commander Sugar Factory and all that. And see, we'll be pushing for those ones for Yenso Yensa.
Okay. Honorable Bibi or Hon Mapese or can.
Well, Mef Kade Ghana for me in Yabuta. Okay. So busy 8 years, I say, Mana Yentumum for 2 months, 3 months, you're bringing immediately. Into patience now when you more busy 8 years saying once so when your patience man within the first 6 months. Now I'm sure that by the time I'll be appointed in the no be our sector ministry room or kodo. Since you're in MCs, so we are just still floating. We need to know exactly what is going on all the other municipalities in each respective.
But the MC, you know, I say interviews never see a cost. Who will be out supporting?
Well, my places were like 12. The whole Cape Coast North and South. There were 1 Metropolitan Assembly.
Okay.
One of our contests, there are 22.
Okay.
And then out of 22, 10 are from my side.
Okay.
And then the other ones are from Cape Coast South.
Okay.
I mean, it's an interview.
Okay.
Then we will all go and support.
Okay.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the MCs that were there, we worked with them. Okay. They were with the other party, but we still work with them. Okay. And so that means that there's room for us to equally work, regardless of whoever occupies the seat.
Okay.
Yeah. But I wish all of them the best.
Okay. So, anyone on one. Okay. Yabadasi. For Cape Coast North NDC Member of Parliament, Honorable Dr. Kwabena Mintah Nyaku Boga. But I was honorable a appointment because you're educationist. We're in a background baby of free banana. We call a deputy education a sector on because there are scholarship for corporation there and a UCC who sponsor one more anyway now education side ministry on a beboa.
I receive.
I was try home Brian better so now yeah dear
give us P capsules a memory manum bia ye benamua can tutu ya na menkwa sese de petro esa kum mania give us P capsules. Give it to me baby. Give us core capsules so e man mema nyina akoko yade sisiade amamanya yam timotete wo mo no yedro no manum bi amama de me ho. Give us core capsules Mrs. Moye ding. Give us core capsules. I give it to you baby, you give it to me. Oh, yeah. Hey, give us no. Amen ni jia bebusuamu papa na bema ka give us P capsules. And ni give us core capsules bomu nom dia na eni je ni ahoden no. Wa brudo. Give us P capsules. And remember what if you do what you do, Cronkwan, Efa. Give us core capsules. I pay for a batter, one more menu for an inquadawin if you do me and Uncahu. I will draw to beer, Motofonco, Give us Herbal Center, Teshi Mobile, and Teshi Adriami. Phone numbers 0543 222 470 and 050 68
FD, Aje, a dreading crack to Atu.
Banjo. Why go? Massa, St. Andrews a bubu wayek machine biomo. A few here, a buta.
7 A's, 6 A's, and 5 A's no abruso.
NTC so better forms I was St. Andrews SHS. The results need be na chance.
A few way, yeah, the 999 candidates and a quatrain, and 997 and a qualifier for university.
Wow, wait here, a bro again and entiaso.
And on to Sawako school be a Felipoto.
A money how cry.
For an more St. Andrews SHS. Say St. Andrews, Abby Aquenya, Amo form 3.
And my own yeha, never found forms. Natural was see May June exams to be a fear.
And Massa Aquenya Wempa, Fisami Huyanka, Nakachi.
And Fresisia, Najo SHS 3 admission forms
0244 696911.
Ana 0207 891004. St. Andrews SHS.
We are always
in the league.
Now me say, if you bring me who the beer we are active, very strong and energetic.
We are 100%. Na me nyina ne sadie, me hwe me ni padua sofa. Na de boa me, mama hoden, mama timi ko bada. Ene ta bia zanika.
Possible if they decided to complete or go through all the 8 on the Thursday.
Chairman, I sincerely believe they could have vetted 8 people on that day.
If you look at the timetable, one from 9, the second was to start at 11, and the third was to start at, I think, around, did you say 5? The original timetable, because you are a leader, I asked this. So looking at the timing, at what time did you think that these other 5 nominees could have been slated? Because now they started those who were supposed to be vetted from 9 o'clock. And then at the time the chaos started, I think it was around 8 p.m. and about 3 nominees were to be interviewed. From that time, when the chaos has started around 7 or 8 p.m., was it possible to go through the 3 nominees, and what time did you think that they were going to finish?
On the original plan, the 5 were supposed to be vetted. The last person was supposed to be on the chair at 5 p.m. I'm sure there was a reason they put time against all of them. So if you were going to vet, and the last person, which is the 5th person on the Friday, was going to be sitting here by 5 o'clock, it would have been left with 3. And it's a committee. They can decide that they will vet the rest. After 5 o'clock, the rest of the 3 come. On the Thursday, you will notice that Honorable Okudzeto was supposed to be here at 1 o'clock. What it means is that maybe by 2 o'clock, he would have been finished, and then you add the rest. So it's an issue of time management of the committee. Even in Parliament, it gets to a point the Speaker will say, you speak for 5 minutes, and they stick to it. So that one was entirely in the bosom of the committee to decide how much time they spend on each nominee.
Now, ask this because you've been a leader all this while. And to be fair to the nominees, they have invited their chiefs, their wives, their relatives, and whatnot to assist them or to attend the vetting. Did you get to know whether leadership had agreed to reschedule any of them, or it was agreed that all the 8 were going to be vetted because all of them had brought their followers?
It's a very difficult situation. I can tell you some of the invitees slept in spaces around in Parliament on that day. Some slept in, some colleagues need to beg other colleagues to allow their guests to sleep in their offices because the numbers were such that colleagues couldn't have afforded hotels for them on that day. I saw some of them entering bathrooms or washrooms in the morning. So it was something the committee leadership should have considered ahead of time that these people were already here. At a point in time, I approached the leadership and said that I know a particular nominee who had close to 100 opinion leaders, chiefs, already on the compound. At the time, they were saying, we can't vet them. The 100 chiefs or so were already here. So when we say, what do you want him to do with them? They say, oh, they're already here. They can come tomorrow. Sadly, I can tell you, some of them slept on the premises here, which is unacceptable.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. We are grateful you attend upon this committee. You are duly discharged.
And I appreciate the work you are doing.
And if we have any other questions, we will call upon you once again. Thank you so much for the insight.
Thank you, Chairman.
Colleagues, we will now invite the Minister for Tourism and Creative Arts, Honorable Jifa Ablagomashi. And please, straight to the point. Honorable Minister, since Deputy Speaker, who is also the chair of the vetting committee, will be presiding this morning, we want to beg of you to give us a few minutes, and then we'll take him. We'll take the chair, the Deputy Speaker, the oath.
I, Bernard Ahiafo, do hereby swear by the Almighty God that the evidence I shall give before this committee touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much, First Deputy Speaker, Honorable Bernard Ahiafo, Member of Parliament for Akachi South. You did not watch the video. Our intention was for all witnesses to watch the video before we ask a question. But I know you were at the center of Affairs. And so can you tell this committee what really transpired on the day of vetting, 30th January 2025, and in the morning of 31st January, Friday, 2025. Can you tell this committee what really transpired on that day, on those days?
Well, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Honorable Chairman, I perceived members of the minority side to be putting up an attitude that is very disruptive. For me, I find it very difficult to go back on my words, having agreed with you, this is what we are going to do. Now, the whole thing started this way. We'll program the vetting, we'll all agree on the numbers. Sometimes, on the day of the vetting, instruction will be given to the clerk that the minority will be engaged in doing one thing or the other. So instead of 9 o'clock, the vetting should rather start at 10. And when it happens that way, the entire program for that day is affected. Affected in the sense that what you have to do between 9 and 10, you will not be able to do it. And then it carries forward. That resulted into a particular day where Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu Ajari was supposed to be vetted. We've given her every assurance that she is on the list to be vetted. It got to her. The minority side said they were tired. They wouldn't be able to continue the vetting. And I was trying to persuade them that in view of the fact that some revered chiefs came all along from Techima, we can endure and vet her for that day to enable them leave the following day. This has even brought Honorable Ayariga between the majority and the...
So,
I will come to the actual...
No, we want to know what date are you talking about, especially the Honorable Ajari's story?
The date specifically, I'm not good at keeping dates, but it was the day. She was vetted the following day anyway. So when negotiations failed, we were compelled to go and apologize to the chiefs in the company of Honorable Mahama Ayariga. Then we had program from Monday to Friday. And on Tuesday, the committee's attention was drawn to an ostensible publication allegedly emanating from Mr. Oliver Baka Vomao. There were 2 posts. One was to the effect that the money that the nominees are paying to members of the committee. I don't think we are
interested in what happened with that.
Very well.
Right.
Very well. Then,
go ahead
when our attention was drawn to the media post, the committee, instead of sitting, will have to recall to a conclave. Now, at the conclave, a decision was taken by the minority side that on that Tuesday, based on that post, there should be no vetting at all. And we had to more or less plead and prevail on them that in view of the fact that we had already invited the nominees who are here with the chiefs, opinion leaders, it would be unfair not to vet them. So we should go ahead with the vetting. Honorable committee members, if you go to play the video on that Tuesday, what we agreed upon.
Was it a Wednesday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Before Mr.
Vomawa on Wednesday.
Okay.
When we even resumed sitting, you could see the posture of the minority whip that we will not continue the vetting, banging the table. We will not continue the vetting that day. I employ the committee members to look at the proceedings on that Tuesday. So that was the posture. We had to permeate our way through to be able to do the vetting of the people selected for that day. Now at conclave, we agree that Wednesday will deal with the issue pertaining to Oliver Baker Vomawa. Then thereafter, we'll continue to do vetting. Again, the posture from the minority side was that Tuesday, there would be no vetting. That Wednesday, there will be no vetting on Wednesday. Life is all about give and take. As a result, we are not able to vet any nominee on Wednesday, and then we use the Wednesday to deal with the issues pertaining to Mr. Oliver Baker Vomawa. Though we closed early because of the decision that there was not going to be vetting, we then used the period to task the clerk with the responsibility to merge that Wednesday with Thursday. The nominees that are to be vetted on Wednesday that we couldn't do, she should merge it with Friday. And then let's look at the number. Now the number became 8. And at a meeting, we've decided that if on average we have to use 2 hours on one person, then that would have been 16 hours of sitting. It would have been too much, given the fact that some people may be vetted within 1 hour. We agreed to do the first 6. First, it was the first 5. Then I received a call from Honorable Minority Leader that he is okay, we can add Akandoh to be taken on that day. Therefore, 6 people were programmed to be taken. Then there was an agreement that the backlog, being the 2, should be added to the following day, which is Friday. And if we are not able to exhaust, then we can take a decision whether we are coming on Saturday or it should be Monday or Tuesday. In fact, this has also brought in Honorable Mahama Ayariga, the leader of the House. And he even came out to say that clearly we need to negotiate the Saturday because Saturday is not a working day. So therefore, if you are not able to finish on Friday and we cannot come on Saturday, then probably Monday or Tuesday will be the next available date. So I was surprised that in the morning of that Thursday, the clerk came to me to say that instead of what we have agreed upon, she has received a text message from the minority whip in the person of Akandoh, which text message she showed to me that we are only going to do 4. That is why I have a difficulty. You agree on one thing, then behind you want to do another thing. I wasn't comfortable. So I just told the clerk that whatever we agreed upon, that is what we are going to do. So on that Thursday, we had programmed to start the first person at 9 o'clock. I came to office around 8:30, about 8:45. I received a call from the assistant clerk to the effect that he had received a call from Honorable Anodompre that there will be a caucus meeting of the minority. Therefore, instead of 9 o'clock, we should again start proceedings at 10 o'clock. For me, as a member of parliament, you may not have control over a caucus meeting. So when they are going to have a caucus meeting, I have no problem about it. So I have decided to walk to the chamber. Then on my way to the chamber, I met few MPs from the minority side and asked, I understand you are having a caucus meeting. Are you not attending the caucus meeting? Only for me to be told that there was no caucus meeting. So 10 o'clock, I have decided to start the vetting. And when they walk in after I have started, I told them in a plain language that I do not like the seat. I agree with you. But a situation where you do not have a caucus, but you deceive me in order to delay the proceedings of that day, to say that you have a caucus meeting, I won't take it candidly. And that is not the way we should be going. The response was that if they mean caucus meeting, it doesn't mean the entire minority caucus. As if I do not know the meaning placed on the caucus in our own standing orders. I took it in a good faith, and we were proceeding. I was surprised after vetting the Minister for Transport. Based on the agreement, I asked the Minister designate for Health to take his seat. It was there that I realized that we are tired, we will not do Honorable Akandoh. Akandoh will not be vetted today in a very rowdy manner. Based on my posture, I was engaging the minority leader to the effect that you said you are comfortable for Akandoh to be taken today. Mostly the response will be that it is not me, I am under pressure. It's not me, I am under pressure. I'm also a politician, I understand. So I was making an attempt to persuade them that in view of the fact that Honorable Akandoh had to bring the chiefs and opinion leaders from Juaboso, and he being the last person, there are instances where vetting of the committee will end at 10, 10:30, 11. And this is just getting to about 8 o'clock. So we could accommodate and take Honorable Akandoh for that day, so that the rest of the two will be shifted to the following day. And if we are not able to finish the following day, then we could consequently adjust ourselves and finish the following week. Then what I realized was that whilst that negotiation was ongoing, I heard the minority leader requesting that they should call some people into the vetting room. And in no time, they started walking to the vetting room. And that very day, minority leader was so harsh to the deputy, second deputy whip, Jerry Ahmed Shaib. I intend not to repeat the words inflicted on him that very day. So I realized that they were under some kind of instruction from their leader to do certain things. Honorable members of the committee, let me place on record that there are some instances where my ranking member will ask their side that they should all stand up and put on the microphone. And by putting on the microphone, all other microphones will be disabled. And you cannot do anything when all the microphones were on. So to some extent, I do not really understand what they want. Because, honorable members, by my level of tolerance and the way and the manner I have accommodated them, sometimes I do not expect to be treated in a particular way. And as I said, life is about give and take. We were prepared to give and we were prepared to take. So I also expected them to also give and take. So before I could realize, somebody said something in tree and they started pulling the cables, and I mean there was a pandemonium. The whole place became very hostile. And if you can watch the video carefully, I was so much surprised about the incidents of that day, and I was just sitting down looking at them. As usual, the honorable leader came in trying to restore order, but they wouldn't listen. And once the video accounts is before you, I intend not to repeat whatever happened, because the video would speak louder than my voice. I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Bernard, I hope I'm allowed to call you.
Yes, please.
Bernard, because I might forget myself if I always have to say second deputy speaker, first deputy speaker. Congratulations again on your high office.
Thank you.
It's finished. So, colleagues, if you have some questions for him.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable First Deputy Speaker and Chairman of the committee. From the account that you have given, I think that there is a big problem about scheduling and then being firm about your scheduling. Would you want to agree with me that this whole problem came about as a result of the decision you took not to vet nominees who were scheduled for Wednesday? And you knew very well that these nominees had invited people, chiefs, their friends, their relatives, and whatnot. And yet, the committee was persuaded by the minority not to carry out vetting. And that is what actually created the congestion and the subsequent challenges that we have. I believe that.
Thank you very much for your question. I understand the impulse of your question. Honorable members, danger begets man. It is the cry of distress that will summon for relief. Our integrity as members of the committee were at stake. In the history of our Fourth Republic, every vetting cycle will be tagged with corruption. And I distate corruptions and corruption-related matters. So for the committee to be tagged with corruption, which I know it is not true, any reasonable person guided by all those considerations that regulate the conduct of human affairs would agree that we should deal with the issue affecting our image before continuing the vetting. And honorable members, on that Wednesday, I was with the view
that we should deal with the issues relating to Oliver Baker-Vomawo. Then we can continue the vetting. If we are not able to exhaust all of them that day, then the backlog will be very, very few. But the posture was not favorable. Remember, I told the committee that when our attention was drawn to the post on Tuesday, our friends from the minority have already taken a decision that there would be no vetting until that issue was resolved. That was the reason for me asking the committee to take a look at the proceedings on Tuesday, particularly the time that we had to start the vetting on Tuesday. A lot of negotiation had gone into continuing the proceedings even on that Tuesday. So we were not successful in agreeing to do the vetting on Wednesday. And that has accounted largely to the backlog. So I will not say it has not contributed to the incidents, it has contributed to the incidents. But I have been in Parliament for a very long time. You can agree and disagree. Even before the committee, there were agreement and disagreement, and we normally suspend. So if you watch the proceedings, there are instances where I will suspend proceedings to go and judge. And even that money, we did some kind of consultation, and then we agree on the 6 people to be vetted. So I was surprised what really changed when the very last person that you reach out to me to say that you are comfortable for him to be vetted that day. When I invited him to take the seat, then this whole thing have started. So between the time that they communicated to me that he can be added as the 6th person and the time that I invited him to take the seat, I do not know what went on among our colleagues at the minority side.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker. We have a lot of questions for you being the chairperson, so please be concise and precise so that we can finish with you for you to be able to go and preside over the House. So please be concise and precise.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Senator.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My question is a twofold question. My first question is, at any point when the situation deteriorated, did you call for order? That's the part A. And, okay, first, that's the first question.
Yes, I did. You can hear me shouting, order, let there be order, honorable members, let there be order, let there be order. So I was trying to restore order when word was said in tree, as a moon tree cables. I'm not good at tree. So immediately that has been said, they started pulling the cables, and my microphone was disconnected, and no matter how I shout, nobody can hear me.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My second question is, at any point after you tried to call for order and that was not happening, did you attempt to suspend the sitting of the committee?
Well, at that point, I really do not see the need. I thought by saying order, order, and engaging the minority leader and the ranking member on the side as to what has really changed resulting into this, I thought the two of us could resolve it among ourselves and proceed to conduct the vetting. So whilst that engagement was going on between me and the minority leader, the tree word came and they started pulling the cables and the whole thing just started. I do not know whether the rest of the minority members were having the feelings that my engagement with the minority leader will result into a calm and the proceedings ongoing. And that word spilled out and the whole thing became uncontrollable. I believed a little patience would have resolved the issue between me and the minority leader, but he also didn't have.
Thank you. So just to make sure, you did not call for a suspension of the sitting. Very well. My final question is, at any point, did the marshals enter the committee room on your instruction? Or did you call for the marshals to enter?
Yes, I asked my usher to bring in the marshal because I sit as a chair with my ears widely open.
Oh, Vincent.
Chair, good. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, would you be surprised that those who were involved in the scuffle, we had one person who was not a member of parliament, not part of parliamentary staff. Let me use the word, he was an imposter, yet he was a stranger, yet he was part of the scuffle.
Well, I won't be surprised. As I indicated, there was a voice saying, call them in. So I wouldn't be able to know exactly who were requested to be called in. And I must say that we have fresh members of parliament that I am yet to be familiar with. So it's difficult to say this is a member of parliament, this is not a member of parliament. But I already told the committee that he said, call them in. And I wouldn't know who exactly were requested to be called in. So it is possible that there may be an imposter called in.
Yeah, Honorable.
Last one.
Sorry.
Just to ask if you recommend in future to beef up the security, especially around this activity, because looking at what happened and what we have also heard, the number of people come along with nominees, would you recommend that in future at least we put some limitation on the number of people that will come along with nominees?
Thank you very much, exactly so. And I must admit that on this occasion, if you look at the letters written to the nominees, there is a maximum beyond which you must not go. That is 10. But I must say, this has been grossly abused by most of the nominees. The letter says 10.
Honorable Bid. Question? Okay. Honorable Izara.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Speaker, since this is your first time of chairing the appointment committee, do you feel that minority showed some bad faith during this episode?
Thank you very much. I have been in minority, and I came to Parliament in majority. I have been involved in committee proceedings. I must say that sometimes I see frustration on part of the minority because there were some external pressure on them, and that has resulted into them doing certain things that ordinarily should not happen. Mr. Chairman, if I may be give you a bit background. Honorable Emmanuel Amaboa was scheduled to be vetted on Monday. Then on Saturday in the evening, I received a call from the minority leader to the effect that some people are not too happy about the last State of the Nation address of the former president, particularly the words used by Honorable Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boah. They felt that the president has been denigrated. As a result, there was a pressure not to proceed to vet Honorable Ama-Boah. And I said, no, this will be real difficulty. I would find it very difficult to accede to the request, particularly if he has been written to appear on Monday. So I reached out to the clerk of the committee, and there was a confirmation that he had been handed over a letter to appear on Monday. So I called back to say that it's going to be very difficult. The event that unfolded resulted into the influencing the minority leaders' behavior towards the clerk. Because there was an issue to the effect that the clerk should take me as a chairman out of the arrangement to vet or not to vet Ama-Boah on Monday, Honorable Emmanuel Ama-Boah on Monday, and take the responsibility, take him also out, and then postpone Emmanuel Ama-Boah, which was difficult for the clerk to do. And I believe the minority leader is not happy about this. So I'm of the view that they were also under some kind of pressures informing the way they go about doing certain things. There was a pressure that Honorable Sam George should not be vetted. Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa should be the last to be vetted. So a lot has been happening.
Thank you very much, Honorable Enyimedu.
Mr. Chairman, this is the first time you are chairing a committee in this House. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct, because I entered Parliament in 2013, and the very first post I was given was the Vice Chairman for the Judiciary Committee, and I have occasion of chairing the Judiciary Committee. Then in my second term, I became the Vice Chairman for the Subsidiary Legislation Committee, and you are aware that I've also been chairing the Subsidiary Legislation Committee. Then I became a ranking member for Constitutional, Legal, and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. So this is actually not my first experience chairing, but this is my first experience chairing the Appointment Committee.
Yeah, but what you said, the explanation you've given me, says that you were advised to some committees, but this is the first time you are chairman of a committee. Is that correct?
No, I was vice chairman for Judiciary Committee in my first term. So I had the opportunity to chair in the absence of the chairman. Then in my second
chairing
term,
a committee, but being holding the position of a chairman of a committee, this is the first time, because you were vice chair. I'm not saying this is the first experience of chairing a meeting.
well, your word used is that this is your first time of chairing a committee. Chairing a committee is one thing, and holding the position of a chairman of a committee is another thing.
Okay, so I'm asking the fact that this is the first time you are holding the position of a chairman.
Exactly so.
Right. Would you agree with me from your narrative that prior to the Thursday meeting, you were prejudiced against the minority?
It is far from that.
Why did you say we should go and look at their faces on the Tuesday proceedings?
Well, the whole thing emanated from Tuesday, and the actual rioting started on that Tuesday. I said so because over the publication, we have taken a decision at conclave to deal with the issue. So I was highly surprised that we'll resolve that at conclave. Then we'll come to the sitting, and a member at conclave will be hitting the table that there will be no vetting. There will be no vetting. There will be no vetting. That is why I'm saying that I am surprised about certain turn of events. Because for me, if I agree to do something with you, why would I change my mind all of a sudden and come and be doing something different?
Yeah, I think you have said so, that you are a man of your own words. You don't want you to be taken unaware of the things that you've agreed on from the onset. And so maybe my vice chair will be guided as he asks the next question.
I know Bernard very well. You said along the line, minority leader called, you received a phone call that Honorable Akandoh should be added to the list of the nominees that we're going to engage on Thursday. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm speaking on oath, and this is confirmed.
I have no reason to doubt you.
Yes.
My next question is that when
yes, let me conclude my answer. Yes, and this was followed by his directive to the minority whip, who also called the clerk of the committee that Akandoh should be added.
Now, when you received this call, did you inform the rest of the committee members that you were going to deal with Honorable Akandoh on that day?
Well, thank you very much. We have chairman and we have ranking. And you know, chairman leads the majority side and ranking leads the minority side. So what I did was to inform my members in the morning that Akandoh will be added. And then properly, the minority leader also communicated with his members, leading to the minority whip placing a call to the clerk of the committee.
Mr. Chairman, did you find out whether the minority side had been communicated to so far as this additional nominee was concerned?
Well, I do not expect to reach an agreement with the minority leader, out of which the minority whip will call the clerk, and the rest of the members may not be aware. But I'm not in a position to tell whether the other two have been informed, because there were 4 on the committee. So 2 was involved. So it's left with the other 2.
Mr. Chairman, with a little patience, the scaffold that we witnessed could have been prevented. You agree with me on that?
100%.
Now, the case of the minority was that they were being surprised. Were you surprised to hear that they were being ambushed?
I will be highly surprised. Highly, highly surprised.
Severally, you mentioned...
I said so because some of the changes that were made, the minority leader and the whip has instances of making their input on the table. And maybe probably the clerk of the committee will be able to produce that particular record. Because when we agreed, then I would then instruct the clerk that this is what we have agreed upon. So the clerk should have some of those arrangements that were altered by ticking and cancellation. And they can subject it to a forensic to establish that it is in the handwriting of the minority leader and sometimes the whip, the minority whip.
You have said repeatedly that you had gone into conclave with the committee. How many people did you agree to vet on that Thursday?
That Thursday, original list that was not altered was 3. But because we didn't work on Wednesday, the agreement was that they should merge the 2. And after merging the 2, we realized that it is 8. I will not be able to do the 8. So we've taken a decision to do the first 5. And there was a follow-up call that we should add Akandoh, making 6.
So what about Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa? He was supposed to be the 7th person?
Honorable members, Okudzeto Ablakwa was one of the original people to be vetted on Thursday. So if you see his letter slated Thursday.
Honorable First Deputy Speaker, you just mentioned that during your conclave meetings, you've agreed to add Honorable Akandoh. That will make it 6. And so, Honorable Okudzeto, even though he has original letter slated for Thursday, because the committee agreed that you are going to have that meeting, that you agree that Akandoh should be added to the 5 members who are supposed to be vetted on Wednesday, shifted to Thursday. So, in a nutshell, Okudzeto was not part of the second agreement that you had with your members.
Thank you very much. This is a very important question. Honorable members of the committee, sometimes some of the nominees take less than 1 hour before us. So the instruction to the clerk of the committee is that she should hold the list of the 8. If you are able to go beyond the 6, then they could also be taken. Because sometimes it's difficult to predict the length of time that the committee will take to vet one person. And having watched the videos, you can agree with me that some people were vetted 45 minutes, less than 1 hour, they are also vetted. So if we are able to use the same approach, it is possible we could even say that, oh, we want to vet 6 people, but looking at the time that we have finished the vetting, is it possible to take the additional 2, meaning that the whole list is exhausted? So we didn't have a block mind on that, going beyond the 6. We never had a block mind on that. And as a matter of fact, if we had even started early and there was no 1 hour delay, we could have even done more than the 6.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the chaos engendered because of poor planning by the committee.
Well, I am of exception. Exception in the sense that how could poor planning lead to an arrangement of a timetable?
I say poor planning because as of 8 p.m., we still had, and according to the list and what we have received, you still had 2 nominees waiting with their followers, their chiefs, their relatives, and whatnot, as of 8 p.m.
Honorable member, I indicated before the committee that our target is 6. The rest would have been a surplus to the committee, depending upon the way the time was used.
So, it's not my last one. So you say the 6 where you had planned to vet 6, and 2 more were waiting. So if you had finished, or you were supposed to do the 8 in all. So it was, if we are able to, then the others would be vetted. And therefore you had invited all the nominees to come with their followers.
Honorable member, clearly speaking, because of the backlog the number went to 8. But before the backlog, the nominees were written to. They were given letters. So it is not the case that we have agreed on the 6th and again issued letter for 2 to be on standby. The number was as a result, because when we agreed on the timetable for the week, the clerk was instructed to give letters according to the calendar agreed upon, according to the program, and then the time frame. So the clerk has already communicated that to them. And it was the 8th for that day was as a result of the backlog, which we'll have to deal with. So it's not the case that they have been written a letter after the backlog to say that we have deliberately invited 8 when we know we can only deal with 6.
Honorable Ahiafo, you insisted when, according to you, some of the minority leaders told you that they were having a caucus meeting, and then you, on your own, found out that there was no caucus meeting. At that point, you went ahead to do the vetting without the minority. Is that correct?
No, it is far from that. Honourable members, I waited and I entered the vetting room exactly at 10 o'clock. That they changed the 9 o'clock too. So we commenced proceeding that day around 10:25.
So if you started on the time that you agreed on, why are you telling us that they said they were going for a caucus meeting and they were not? They didn't have a caucus meeting.
Honorable entry. It will
Please
interest you.
Address the chair.
Honorable Chairman, it will interest you to know that sometimes we would agree to start vetting at 9 o'clock. The majority side will come and be waiting for the minority side.
Well,
you can watch all the proceedings.
Honorable Speaker, even today, we agreed to start at 10, but we
Yes.
started at 10:30.
Yes.
So it's possible.
Yes.
Relax. This is a friendly chat.
I'm more than relaxed.
Honorable Nyimedu, this is your last question.
Well, I will not ask the question again, but I will advise my brother as the chair that with little restraint, I would want the chairman to be very accommodating, and then we can have a free life. Thank you.
This is a free advice.
Thank you very much, but with the free advice, I want to place on record that I have been very tolerant and accommodative.
I know.
As a result of which the general public even have the feeling that my level of tolerance was too much, that I was even weak.
I know the two of you have been friends.
We are brothers.
And you are brothers. So whether you are tolerant or not tolerant. The two of you know each other. And so please, let's keep it like that. On that note, First Deputy Speaker, we want to discharge you. Thank you very much for attending upon this committee. We'll now take Honorable...
Thank you very much for having me.
Honorable Jifar Ablagomashi. Please, please, we have... This should be not more than 10 minutes. We have other colleagues coming in. They've called that they want to come. And so please let it be as short as possible. Thank you.
I, Ablakwa Gomashi,
swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jifar Ablagomashi, Minister Abla Jifar Gomashi. Thank you for attending upon this committee. As you watched the video, you saw yourself in the video. Please, can you tell us, this committee, what really happened on that fateful day?
Good morning again to everybody. Thank you, Chairman, for the opportunity. On that fateful day, I saw the absence of tolerance. I saw the absence of camaraderie. I saw the absence of the respect for this institution called the Parliament of Ghana. On that fateful day, I saw total disrespect for a woman who has risen through the ranks to be the clerk to the committee that was vetting nominees for His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. I saw an attack on the woman and the inability of leadership of the committee to protect her. I can confirm that it is not doctored, and it is the reflection of the person who took it from a certain angle in the room. I mean that I saw more than what was shown on the screen. Thank you.
Honorable Gisela.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, what do you think, from where you sat, from the videos I saw, you were sitting from the middle to the north end of the table. What do you think, from where you sat, could have triggered?
You are not a member of the committee. What were you doing here?
Yes, Chairman, I am not a member of the committee, but I received an invitation from my colleagues who were nominated and were going to be vetted. Specifically, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa and Honorable Samuel Jatta George, and I obliged to attend to them. Thank you.
Honorable Bede.
Honorable Chairman. Mr. Chairman, from the video that we saw, we observed that and stood up. What did you intend to do? You stood up.
To defend the clerk, really, it was difficult to watch what was happening, and I felt helpless. I saw that she's a very calm woman. I asked her, can you hear my side asking you to swear in Honorable Akandoh? And she calmly, with poise and finesse, said The clerk to Parliament is in the room. I take instructions from him, not from you.
I, Al-Hassan Omar,
swear by the Almighty Allah
swear by the Almighty Allah
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the